I love Chrome extensions. They make everything so much easier, so much more interesting, and they can really improve your productivity. And there are a few here that I wanted to share in this episode that I think you might love too. Welcome back to the Freelancers Tea Break, the short and sweet podcast you can enjoy whilst you're making a cuppa. This week I'm going to be showing you and explaining a little bit more about some of my Chrome extensions that I absolutely love. If you are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see me showing you how they work. Otherwise, I'll be explaining it, so even if you're listening via the podcast, you will hopefully get a really good idea of what they are. So we're going to jump into the first one now. If you are someone that always has a lot of tabs open and it's overwhelming, this is the one for you. This is the Chrome extension you need to try. It's called OneTab. It sits up here in my toolbar. It looks like a little funnel. And essentially, if I've got open sort of 10 tabs at the moment, I can click on one tab, and what it does is it collapses all of them into one easy page. So I can then go in and say reopen them. So I'm just going to reopen, say, the Google one. So it does all of the previous ones as well. So it just means that I can collapse them and then reopen them as I need them. It's super easy to use. And if I'm honest, more often than not, I will collapse them and not go back in and reopen them. And it is a good indicator that you don't need all of those tabs open at the same time. So I really recommend OneTab if you're someone that always has a lot of tabs open. If you're somebody who has a lot of different Chrome extensions like I do, you might find this tool really useful. It's called Extensity, and essentially you can go on there, click on it, it's just sat in my toolbar, and I can toggle on and off my Chrome extensions. So if I'm finding that they're just using up too much energy, or there's things that I only occasionally use, I can then toggle them on and off. There's also an option at the top where I can just turn all of them off and all of them back on. So it's a really useful tool if you're someone that uses a lot of Chrome extensions. One tool I've absolutely loved using this year is Scribe. Scribe lets me create step-by-step tutorials, and it just basically records the screen as I'm working and then turns it into steps. So it's slightly different to Loom, which is actually what I'm using to record all of these. Loom, I can show you if you're watching the video. If not, Loom essentially allows me to record what I'm doing on screen. It can create transcriptions and things like that. But what I like about Scribe is it's more step-by-step. So I just go to the icon in my toolbar for Scribe, start capture, and then what it does is it captures everything I'm going to do. So I'm in a spreadsheet here. It's actually my social media planner that I use from Leah Rice's Heart and Soul Digital. It's a really good planner because it has all the awareness days and months. But if I was going to go in and show someone how I was going to use this, what I would do is I'd start the Scribe, and I'm going to just add in some bits here. So we've actually got Freelancer Week coming up this week. So I can put something in there. So I might just say, do reel for this. I'm just going to do a couple of other things just so that we've got something in there that will pop up for the Scribe. So I'm just deleting some rows and then test here. So then I can go to the Scribe at the toolbar and click stop capture. And what it will do is open up a new tab which shows all of the step-by-steps. So it has the step where how to navigate to what it is that you need. So it will just say step 1, navigate to, and it will have the link. And then each step has a screen grab and a little GIF of each of the steps, plus text to describe what I'm doing. So it's really, really useful for when you're doing things like standard operating procedures. I've done it when I'm introducing people on my team to processes that I've done, and it just makes it so much easier to track how you're doing things. And that took me, well, it says at the top, it's 9 steps, 51 seconds. So it tells you how long something will take. And then you can embed it somewhere, you can download it. It's a really useful tool, and I don't think I'm paying for this one. I think this is I'm on the free version, so highly recommend checking that one out if you need to start recording your standard operating procedures, or you find with clients that you're recording a lot of tutorials and things. If you are a Gmail user, you need Mixmax. It is such a useful tool. I use it all the time. So Mixmax is a plugin, a Chrome plugin that works well with Gmail. Again, it just sits in my Chrome toolbar. And if you click on it, it just opens a new email window. But the thing I love about it, so I've opened up a new email, and if I do / it then offers me loads of opportunities of things I can add into my email. So I can add in a generic appointments link, so almost like templates. I have templates built in with Mixmax. I can do availability, so I can open up my calendar and it shows all the slots, and I can embed it into the email, and then they can just click on that link and it automatically makes it a booked email or a booked event. You can add in calls to action, file requests, GIFs, all sorts of different things. There are so many different things. They do have other things that I think are part of the pay package, like sequences and things like that. I love that they've got templates in there so that I can quickly go in and grab some of them if necessary. But it's a really useful tool to add more functionality to Gmail, especially if you're using it as a business. If you take a lot of screenshots and need to send them to clients as mock-ups, so I'm thinking particularly like website designers, graphic designers, things like that, Screely is a really good Chrome extension. So I'm going to just show you an example here with this social media planner. If I just click on the Screely, what it does is it creates a like an example screenshot here. You can change how you want it to look. Basically what it does is it shows you it as if it's in a browser window, so it looks a little bit nicer. You can change how you want it to look in terms of the color buttons on it, all that kind of thing, the background, and then you can just download it. It's a free tool. It's really useful if you are needing to send examples of how a website looks in a browser window. Okay, this one is just for fun. It is not a professional one necessarily, but I use a lot of GIFs in my work. So I have the Giphy for Chrome plugin. So all I do is I click on it and I search for whatever I need. So I've just opened it up, and there's automatically some GIFs that are sort of trending at the moment, or you can search for them. You can then click on the GIF, and depending on what website you're on, you can drag and drop it into the page. So I found it works really well with emails or documents and things. So you can just drag it from the Chrome extension into whatever you're working on, or you can click on the link and you can do it that way. And I think you can also download it as well. Yes, save image as. So you can download it from there. So if you're a heavy GIF user, highly recommend getting this in your toolbar. So that's a few of my favorite Chrome extensions for freelancers. I use all of those almost daily, so I highly recommend having a look at them. But I'd love to hear which ones you love. Do feel free to leave a note in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on the podcast, I'd love to hear from you on Instagram. I am Emma Cossey over there. Or come join us in the Facebook group, The Freelance Lifestylers. There are always useful tools being shared over there. Have a wonderful freelance week.